We got together in 2016. In 2018, there was a referendum on legalizing same-sex marriage. After it passed, she said, "Let's get married." And I was overjoyed, like, bingo!
Mota and City have been married for 5 years, and in 2020 they welcomed their first child, Dobie, to the world. But despite their happy ending, it's been a long journey to get to this point. As a lesbian couple, they're excluded from accessing assisted reproduction in Taiwan. And while researching the option of going abroad, they initially struggled to find concrete information.
I was searching online and found that it had previously been allowed in Thailand, but later became illegal. Then we discovered Cambodia was an option.
Mota's pregnancy was far from easy. She underwent egg retrieval and IVF, but faced life-threatening complications due to high blood pressure and severe ascites.
Back then, I really felt like I was at death's door. I think if I had been in Taiwan, the doctors would have been able to monitor me more easily and better determine if I could handle the treatment. Even though no serious medical incidents affecting LGBTQ couples have been reported as a result of fertility treatments, I believe they must have happened. We just don't know about them. I really hope the amendment passes.
City, Mota's partner, thought her pregnancy journey would be smoother given her age and condition.
I
thought I was lucky because I didn't get morning sickness, and everything appeared to be going smoothly. No one even knew I was pregnant. But then the baby's heartbeat just stopped. When I was told, I thought it was a sick joke. A year has passed, but I feel like it's so difficult to have a kid. So many people have children after getting pregnant by accident. We had to pay millions, but still, things can go wrong.
In Taiwan, lawmakers are debating a big change to assisted reproduction laws. Currently, only married heterosexual couples are allowed to access fertility treatment, but an amendment could see this being expanded to include single women and lesbian couples. This has sparked backlash from some groups, including religious organizations.
Women and children aren't guinea pigs for medical science. We all need to pay attention, no matter what your stance is. We need to prioritize the health and well-being of women and the next generation of kids. According to a reputable study from Norway, if you compare assisted reproduction to natural conception, the risk of complications during childbirth is 6 times higher.
In the best interest of children, we should probably put the dreams of having children using these methods on the back burner for now. As someone dealing with infertility, I'm against surrogacy. I can't imagine a woman in Taiwan going through a whole pregnancy with a baby that's not hers. After she gives birth, the baby is taken away, with everyone saying another woman is the mom, not her. The child grows up never knowing the name of the woman who carried and gave birth to them, or never knowing who she is.
I
feel kind of sad and disappointed, you know. We really want to have our own kids, but as single women right now, we just haven't found that special someone we want to settle down with or start a family. We're not even sure if this person would be a guy or a girl. Although for many people, marriage and having kids go hand in hand, I think maybe we also need to learn how to talk about them separately.
Sunny is one of the increasing numbers of Taiwanese women choosing to freeze their eggs. But unless she finds that special someone to settle down with, and unless that special someone is a man, and they decide to marry, she won't be able to use them.
If something were to happen to me unexpectedly tomorrow, what I would regret is not having kids, rather than not getting married.
Expanding society's ideas of what a real family is requires a huge societal shift, and success is hard to quantify. This has led to many focusing their efforts on campaigning for law amendments.
Changing the assisted reproduction law would be a big deal for us because it would be the first time unmarried people becoming parents is being seriously spoken about.
Lai Zongxuan, who runs an assisted reproduction center in Taipei, has 30 years of experience helping couples undergo IVF and helping single women freeze their eggs. IVF, or in vitro fertilization, is a treatment that involves taking eggs from the ovaries, combining them with sperm in a lab, and placing them back in the uterus, in hopes a pregnancy will occur.
In 2023, there were about 135,000 babies born in Taiwan. Out of these babies, around 1/10 were born using IVF or other fertility treatments. This shows that reproductive technologies are helping to boost the population in Taiwan and solve the low birth rate problem.
Taiwan's birth rate has been stuck around the bottom of the global fertility league for years. At the same time, there are many Taiwanese people who would do anything to become parents.
This creates a challenge for female same-sex couples because women have eggs but no sperm, so they can't conceive naturally.
Another option for those wanting children is surrogacy, and whether to legalize the procedure is currently a hot topic among those debating changes to the Assisted Reproduction Act. Chen Zhaozi, a longtime surrogacy advocate who also had fertility issues when she was younger, has been calling for it to be allowed for more than 2 decades.
The
whole world has moved forward, whereas Taiwan has remained stuck for 30 years. I remember when I first started pushing for this, maybe about a dozen countries were working toward legalizing and building an infrastructure to facilitate surrogacy. Now it's probably over 30 or 40 countries.
Even though some countries now permit surrogacy, those who oppose it say it could objectify and exploit women, especially those who are disadvantaged.
Objectification and instrumentalization? These terms suggest situations where people are forced or lack autonomy. We can't force a woman to get pregnant. They have full autonomy. When I was 15 and starting high school, I found out I couldn't have kids. Back then, people didn't really talk about this stuff because everyone was getting married and having kids early. It made me too scared to even think about marriage, so I avoided relationships altogether. It was a tough call.
Lin and his wife traveled to Ukraine to access surrogacy almost 4 years ago, and their son is now 3 years old.
I looked into several adoption agencies here in Taiwan, but they all have different procedures and tend to prefer younger parents.
Because they couldn't adopt, the Lin couple decided to try and access surrogacy abroad. They reached out to a hospital in Ukraine, which helped them find an egg donor and surrogate mother.
Honestly, we were just worried. It was 10 months of worry until the baby was born safely. Only then could we relax. For those who really want to have kids, it would be amazing if Taiwan would just legalize surrogacy. It's not just about money. People have to deal with language issues and wait anxiously for weeks to know how their baby is doing. It would be such a relief if this wasn't the case.
Gary and Peter got married in 2019 and traveled soon after to the United States to access surrogacy. Now they have twin boys named Mason and Samson who are 5 years old.
When we met, I already knew I wanted to have kids, so it's something I made a point to discuss with him.
Although the surrogacy process seemed initially to have gone smoothly, Samson was found to have a rare disease and had to undergo multiple surgeries right after he was born.
I feel that this journey has been challenging. Our medical bill wound up being about 80 million Taiwanese dollars. Actually, if we had been able to do this in Taiwan, we wouldn't have had to endure such hardship. We even risked losing our children during the process.
Being able to do this in Taiwan would be the easiest option for LGBTQ parents. But of course, I understand that people in different countries hold different opinions on this issue. Our country already allows same-sex marriage, and so I hope surrogacy will soon be possible.
While opinions regarding surrogacy remain split, civil groups continue to push for clear and detailed regulations to be implemented.
When it comes to updating the law, we need to think about how to properly protect everyone in the system. This means making sure surrogate mothers and future parents are taken care of and that we're prioritizing what's best for the kids. We also need to figure out what services agencies can offer and what their responsibilities are.
The U.S.-based Reproductive Sciences Medical Center, which has extensive experience assisting Taiwanese parents with surrogacy in the U.S., also emphasized the importance of careful recruitment in surrogacy.
This should really be tailored to each country's own circumstances. In the United States, special attention would be paid to the recruitment process of surrogates and the thoroughness of the health checks of these surrogates before they are offered to intended parents. After the child is born, the legal status of this child and social support are among other things that are looked at very carefully and supported in the process here in the United States.
The traditional idea of a family with one husband, one wife, and children is evolving. And not just for gay families, but also for single parents and families with members from different generations. There are opportunities for them to be treated equally.
These days, issues like LGBTQ people starting families or single women having children have become more prominent. I think it's great because it shows Taiwanese society is becoming more diverse and that a family can take many different shapes. People are more open to considering artificial reproduction, which can give people the chance to start a family. This should be a key focus.
The debate over the act is ongoing, and lawmakers, experts, and activists are still working out how to reach an agreement that is palatable to everybody. Evelyn Young and Rick E. in Taipei for CNA.